What?
because their labor, their blood, sweat, and tears did not go into creating life. Ours did. Ours did. And
Ah,
that's why it's so easy for them to take life.
Have to be chasing them. A lot of y'all just gonna be mad because we don't want the relationship no more. But you know what they say,
woo!
when you try to love them, love don't pay the bills.
High value women don't care about money. They don't care about how much money you make. What a man is truly about is to identify his relationship with money. If he's constantly chasing after money, constantly chasing after being a player and stuff like that, he is not after a high value woman. Men who chase after money are trying to compensate for lack of emotional maturity. They're trying to attract men or ego, because high value women don't care about money. They don't care about how much money you make. They don't care about your chain. They don't care about your watch. They don't care about that stuff. High value women care about how open you are, how deep you are, how deep is your love, fuck nigga. That's what high value women care about. So I be confused on.
Now, you said high value women care about love, and then I guess you're insinuating or you're saying you're a high value woman. But how? At the end, when you say, oh, nigga, that's what she said, right? I think I need to replay it back. Oh, nigga, nigga. Showing Sharkeisha all over you. So what does that mean? You're not a high value woman. See, what happens is a lot of ladies in the West think they're high value when they're not. There's a reason why guys are jumping on planes and going across these waters. And I will say, as I've said in the past, you can't go across these waters and be green. Because everybody knows I just had a recent situation. If you don't know about that recent situation, go and find out because it's very educational, right? Where a guy blamed me for his drama in the Philippines when I've warned guys all the time about what could possibly happen and what to look out for, right? But guys do it anyway. They just look at the good, don't look at the bad. But anyway, right? You're saying you're high value. So what's happened is for so long, ladies have said, I want a man. You see it all the time. You see it all over social media. I need a man that provides the bag. So what has that done to men? Men have said, I need to get the bag, right? What else am I going to do? I got to get the bag. So what's happening is more men are focusing on getting the bag and they're paying less attention to you. So instead of dealing with that, you get angry and come on. I got to think of a name, or as you ladies would say, Beyonce's internet, right? With drama, with rage bait. And people say I rage bait because I pick BWs in my titles. When I love BWs, it's wild, man, because, recently the guy that came over here and was a victim, right? He said, oh, well, guys, they get 8s or they get 6s or 7s and they have no clue. And you actually saw a result of a dime. What do I mean? My son was there in your face with us, right? His mom used to be a model. I've dealt with and smashed models for most of my time that I didn't take on dates. But let me stop. I got to get into the video. I'm cooking for something else that doesn't matter. I'm sorry, y'all. Let's get back into it. Look at this one.
After money, constantly chasing after being a player and stuff like that, he is not after a high value woman. Men who chase after money are trying to compensate for lack.
Heard a lot of different things on this app before, but boy, what the hell is she talking about, my nigga? Niggas do because he chasing after the bag? Isn't that what you want? You want niggas who make money, but the moment a nigga focusing only on money, this nigga's DL? Man, what?
Yeah, does it make sense, right? Let me let this brother talk.
What a man is truly about is to identify his relationship with money. If he's constantly chasing after money,
And you know what? She actually telling the truth. But just think about it further. That man out here constantly chasing money, and she went on to say constantly trying to chase women. I think he might be brainwashed by these women out here who always talking about money. They always want a man to spend money and a real man to do this and he'll hide that and he'll pay for that. That's what you could tell about that man. So it goes further than just thinking you can read him, like a lot of y'all don't play a role in that shit. But you know what? It's even worse when you realize some men start off giving a fuck and then they get to the point where they don't. It don't even be about chasing money. Now niggas just want a better life. And then that just happens to come with women just showing up out of nowhere. That don't got nothing to do with us. We can't help the fact that we gonna always be attracted to women. We just don't want a relationship, so we don't even have to be chasing them. A lot of y'all just gonna be mad because we don't want the relationship no more. But you know what they say, when you try to love them, love don't pay the bills. So when a nigga can pay the bills, they ain't thinking about loving you. And that's why they be upset when they finally get the money that they only wanted you for. Subscribe to my YouTube, Planet Reality.
Wow. Yeah, guys, go give him a subscribe, right? Planet Reality, he was right. Young brother was cooking. Ladies, what's happening is they're pissed because men are saying money first, woman later, and now women are like, oh no, hey DL, oh no, hey this, oh no, that, oh no, this, oh no, that, right? And as men, you can't care what nobody says about you. Seriously. You got to look at things like, oh, again. Like every time you're going through life, F you, F you, F you. That's how men go after a while. F you, F you. I've done so many F U's in my life. Woo! I feel like I'm going somewhere where I'm not supposed to go because that's how it's supposed to be. A man has to have that F you. If you're not paying me, F you. If you're not effing me, F you. That's what it turns into. Because what are they saying? You're not paying the bill? F you. So what men are doing, and it's sad because this is what's happening. Men are getting the bag and they're getting the prettiest girls and saying, I'm going to F you. And they're not dealing with girls like her anymore. Now you see what you ladies created? Your own demise.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
Later actually work? You might think it does, but not for the same reasons. Listen, I love that everybody's focused on making money nowadays, building businesses, growing brands. It's a beautiful thing to see. But if you think in your right mind that you're just gonna ignore women for like 5 years, have no dating life, and then make a bunch of money one day, and then there's gonna be a bunch of women lined up.
I gotta pause it. See, because he's right somewhat, right? Because I've done this before. Let me tell you, young grasshopper, because you guys try to school guys and listen, and it's bad. This is horrible advice, but it's what guys do, right? Guys get by. What do I mean? Like, have you guys saw, and this is not right, how Kevin Samuels passed, right? How did he pass? I'm not saying this is right. He was making a lot of money. He passed with a Ross. You guys know how to talk. I call them prostitutes, right? And why did he do that? Because he was focused on getting the bag. All he was doing was getting some, and he got back to getting the back. See, and a young grasshopper will look at that and say, "Oh, that's not right. Don't tell guys to do that." But you guys already know. I showed the truck stop reset, $40 hour. I wasn't talking about that for no reason. But let's continue, right?
For you, ready to be your woman, yeah, they'll be lined up for you, bro.
They
They'll be
will.
lined up for your money, not you. Now,
That
some
doesn't
of you
matter.
guys are okay with that, right? Sometimes relationships to a lot of guys could seem like a business transaction. But I would advise men, if you're gonna get into a relationship, it should have some authenticity to it. Now, there's nothing authentic about a woman just being for you because you.
Now I gotta pause it right there, right? Because I'm gonna finish it out and go on to the next video. Now, I don't suggest a man just openly giving ladies money, especially if he's giving them money for love. That's a number one no no. I don't suggest any man do that. Because as I was explaining when I first started the video, right? A lot of guys think they can go overseas and do that. And it doesn't work overseas, probably more than home. Why? Because these ladies aren't used to getting that kind of money. So you're giving them something they're not used to. So a lot of guys are going overseas and going, it's cheaper to keep her, and spoiling girls and making them rotten for the next dude.
And who's that? Oh, it's Mr. MVP, Simp!
So when the next dude goes to date her, she's expecting, but you know what? It'll probably work for the next dude because she'll respect him. Message.
I'm going to delete this, but it's been eating at me, so I just really wanted to share it. But have you noticed that when men work very hard for the things that they want in life, the possessions, they put their manual labor into it, their blood, their sweat, their tears go into those things. They protect that thing at all costs, okay? But when things are handed to them, someone else had to labor for that thing and it was given to them. They don't give a crap about that thing. They don't value that thing. They destroy it, they dirty it, they mess it up. They don't care. And I think about things like their cars. When men work very hard for the cars that they possess, the ones that they really want, oh my God, they protect it at all costs. Don't come near my car, don't scratch my car. They are washing and cleaning that car every 2 business days. Like, they really put their love into that thing. This is why they don't care about you. This is why they don't care about me. This is why they don't care about children. This is why they don't care about the world.
Children.
Because their labor, their blood, sweat, and tears did not go into creating life. Ours did. Ours did. And that's why it's so easy for them to take life, grape life, destroy life, abuse.
I gotta stop it right there. Right? Because they think just because they're baby makers that they know everything. Just because you made a baby and went through labor, you have no clue what you're talking about. Why? Because men care more about children than you females do. Let me explain, right? What am I talking about? I'm talking about the way you just lay down with everybody and let everybody get you pregnant. And a lot of times, not you, but ladies do that for a paycheck. If a man could have a child, he would never. What's going on? What's wrong with that? Example 1. Example 2 is the way you give your goods, which a lot of you ladies do, you're giving the goods to everyone. So men, oh, that's deep. See, she did a double entendre and didn't know that this cooking was gonna happen. See, I'm sizzling bacon. I don't even like bacon. No pork on my fork. I gotta sizzle that bacon for you, right? Because what happened is, what's happening in the date market is you ladies are giving it to men so easy. So what's happening with men now? Men are saying money first, woman later, woman to piss. But men are going to respect that because you work hard for that car, like you explained, right? You're right about that. You're right. But after that, see, what happened was you thought you was cooking and all you did was turn the stove on. I have to finish the bake, right? And you put it on fry when we need to cook this thing we need to cook some beef, right? For like 5 hours. You tried to fry it, so the beef is all hard. I had to slow cook that thing, right? You got to slow cook it. You know what's wild? I bet you she doesn't even know that.
Is based off of his currency. Not in his ability to date, but his ability to navigate economically. It is what he earns, who he is, and how much he knows. And we as women, we do not make the rules. Although sometimes it feels like we are being punished for it, we don't make the rules.
I gotta pause it real quick because I gotta tell guys this. I spoke with a guy today, and he couldn't believe the things I was showing him. Right? I show guys how exactly this video is about guys saying money first, women later. I've done that before. In doing that, I've discovered certain things. I discovered working online, hiring others to work for me, to where you're taking their services, hiring them for less and making more from it. And I showed a guy what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. I pretty much showed a guy, I said, because I break it down. And what I say, it's sad because I say, you got a lot of ladies out here trying to shame guys for not going to college and don't know guys are learning how to make millions of dollars. That's a message that everybody needs to hear. And I say a lot of videos, and I hope people take heed to that because I'm not going to talk anymore.
But these are just facts, and I can always tell how well a man is going to do based on how he reacts to this very statement. Work against a lot of you, absolutely. The system is not designed to favor the black man and makes it very hard for him to progress. However, with that being said, I think a lot of men are making this an excuse not to get up and get on, because you want to thrive off of validation and social currency instead of financial. And after having a conversation with a young man recently, I realized that this is what a lot of you's problem is as to why there isn't a lonely male epidemic.
Okay, thank you.
There is a lot of you don't want to get up and get to work epidemic.
That's true. This is somewhat true, right? And what's happened is now we're stuck and we're going through a global reset, right? And some men are stuck. That's why I teach what I teach. That's why I said what I said just now. But you're telling this to men and you can't help men at all. That's what she did. You're saying this to men, but what's the solution? Do you have a solution for men? Do you know how you can help men? You don't, right? So why are you talking? Seriously. No solution. A lot of people, they have a solution, but it's something they haven't done themselves to make money. I show guys what I have been doing for 11 years. I show guys how I came to the Philippines, and when I came, I never left. I show guys how I make my money for my YouTube channels, and I show them how to make YouTube channels with little to no effort. I mean, it's crazy, the things I show. But a lot of people talk and have no solution whatsoever.
Just done good things, I would never have really blown up on social media in the first place. So if I was just thinking, right, I don't want to upset anyone, I don't want to do anything that's I wouldn't have been where I'm at now. And I'm not living for other people, I'm living for myself.
This is the mindset of a lot of the red pillars and weirdos on the internet. Materialism over morals. He said it.
So this guy, he calls himself a life coach, right? And this is why I didn't like that documentary that just came out, Into the Manosphere by Louis Theroux, right? Because he interviewed some poo-pots, some poo-pot new dudes that have no clue about what's going on. Because they came and they blew up when the Manosphere was popular. When it was the popular thing to do. So imagine a guy like me who knew about this thing 20 years ago, right? When I see things, I see documentaries like that. And then I hear men like this talking about guys in the manosphere are like this guy. I see guys looking sad. Oh yeah, I wish I would have done that. Like two smacks to the face. What are you talking about? And yes, it's sad because the youth, they take a liking to these guys because they push sensationalism and it works, right? But this thing started from online forums and in the barbershops way before I got popular in YouTube. That's why I always talk how I talk. I'm not bragging. It's facts. Because when the manosphere was getting started and it was getting popular, I was here. Why was I here? What did I experience? And the people that know.
TikTok about how men will ruin the most important times in your life. So I'm going to share my story. This was 2 years ago when I was interviewing for PA school, my second year doing so. So this was like really, really crucial. I was living with my ex at the time and we had 2 rooms in the house. The second room was used for like his games or whatever. And I had like a little desk in there. So that's where I was going to be doing the interview at. I let my ex know the day of the interview, where I was going to be doing it and my preferences. And my preferences were not to even be there. I didn't want him to be there. I didn't want him to come in the room. I didn't want him to make noise. I didn't want him to do anything. That was all I wanted. But lo and behold, while I am in the middle of my interview, suit on, tight, I hear a noise in the back. As I'm in the middle of my interview, we're like in the group session part, so we're all like talking amongst each other. I see this man open the door and walk behind me because I can see him walking in my camera. Like everybody else, I can see him walking. And he grabs something off the desk, which I later found out to be weed. This man comes in behind my PA school interview to grab weed from off of his desk and he leaves. I'm like pissed at this point because not only did he know what was going on in there, he could hear it, but there was a do not enter sign on the door that I made all by myself on a paper towel, taped it up on the door, and I said, do not come in the room. I texted him, I'm like, what are you doing? Like, why did you come in the room? You know I'm doing my interview. And he responds, he says, it's not that serious. I just had to grab something off the desk. As soon as he says that, I'm like, I'll just deal with this later. Like, I have to focus on what I'm doing. So time goes by, time being like 5 minutes, and I'm in the middle of like my real interview with the person interviewing me. And what do I hear? Behind me. It's that door opening again. And I see my ex coming into the room, walking behind me again, while I'm doing my interview, trying to stay focused, answer my questions, to come grab something else off the desk. At this point, I'm like, is this man trying to sabotage me? Like, why does he keep coming in here? Like, I already texted him, I was like, can you chill out? And he did it again. As I'm doing my interview, I'm literally like trying to hold back tears because I'm so like angry about what he's doing. And I can't even really stay focused. When I thought things couldn't get any worse, I hear the shower turn on. Okay, the shower turns on. Still doing my interview, shower turns on. There's 2 bathrooms in the house. He's using the only bathroom that's connected to the room I'm in. But okay, that's fine. The shower's on. Then I hear this loud bass coming from the bathroom. This loud music coming from the bathroom that is so loud, it feels like it's in the same room as me. And I know if I can hear it, the interview person can hear it. So at this point, I just have to apologize. Like, I'm like, I am so sorry about that music in the back. And I just keep trying to like push through the interview. The interview goes fine, I guess. And I just close that laptop and I just start crying. I'm like, I just can't believe that this happened to me. Like, I know for sure I'm not going to get into this school now. Like, it's ruined and he ruined it. And I couldn't even go like fuss at him because he had left at this point. I would like to add that at this point, I open the door. My little do not enter sign is on the ground. One that I taped up earlier. It's just on the ground. Yeah. I say all to say that men will try to ruin the best days of your life, but it's okay. Because I did get into PA school. Thank God. Thank God. But that was a really hard time for me.
Confused because at the end of that, she said, I did get into PA school. So if you did, then what was the whole point? Like you should have kept that story to yourself. But that's that's not important, right? This is important. That's the man you chose. The man is smoking weed. I'm not trying to say something's wrong with smoking weed. It is, but to each his own, right? But that's the man you chose. A man that doesn't feel interviews may be important. Maybe he doesn't have a job like that, right? Maybe he works, but he's a blue collar worker. But still, that is the man that you chose. I could imagine. He probably could have been an alpha dog, right? You guys know how it goes. You know what they all want. This is the man you chose. Are you married to this man? Most likely not. And then she's gonna be making a video. What is she now? Maybe like 28, right? 29. She's gonna making a video in 7 more years saying, I wasted my guys. The cycle just continues. The modern woman cycle. It never stops. And it's sad.
So a lady came on here and basically said that men ruin everything for women, and I'm going to tell you a story time of a man that ruined something for me, and it is confirmed that men ruin everything. So this is the father of my child. At the time that I met him, he is from California, and I'm from California.
See?
We both weren't living in California.
She got
I was
pregnant.
living on the East Coast in New York, and he was living in Vegas at the time. So we had met on the internet and we had talked. He had came to visit me. I went to visit him. We had talked for a couple of months. I had decided, you know what, I've never been to Vegas, so let me go move down there maybe, or let me go see if I want to move down there. So I went to go visit him. In the time of going to visit him, I decided, you know what, it's cheaper out here. There's more places to do things. There's more jobs. And it's closer to California because all my family's in California, so it's closer to California. So I was like, okay, it. You feel me? This is the place to be right here. So my little happy ass, I pack up everything and I go out there. At the time, he was like, you can stay with me. Red flag number one. He said, you can stay with me. So I'm like, okay. So I go stay with him. Um, Everything is fine. Everything is okay.
Red flag number one. You packed up and went to go stay with the man that you just met. That's red flag number one.
And then the baby comes. So when the baby comes, he started acting a little funny.
Baby.
He started acting a little weird. He didn't want me to leave the house. He didn't want me
That's red flag number two. You had a baby with a man you barely knew.
to go nowhere with nobody. He didn't want me to do nothing. So I have a baby, so I'm not really tripping about it. Now, when I lived in Vegas, I didn't have a job. I didn't have a job, but I did have my degree in fashion journalism. So I had an associate's and was working toward a bachelor's in fashion journalism at the time. All right, remember that. That's key to the story. Okay, so I am looking for jobs. I'm looking for jobs. I'm looking for security jobs, all types of jobs. I then decide, you know what, let me apply for this internship at this fashion magazine because if you don't know, Vegas is one of the fashion capitals of the world. It is. I know people don't know that, but it is one of the fashion capitals of the world. A lot of clothes go in and out of there just because of the people that live there. So I decided to apply. So I applied. They called me back. When they called me back, they're like, come in for an interview. So I didn't have a car at the time, so I took the bus over there. It was like an hour bus ride at the time, so I took the bus over there. So I get over there, do the interview, yada, yada, yada. And they're like, we love you. We want you. We love you. You know what I mean? When can you start? Mind you, inside I am screaming because my whole life, this is all that I wanted to do. I wanted to do fashion journalism. So I was like so happy that I cried. I get home after my hour bus ride. I tell him I'm excited. Instantly, the face is like, how are you going to do that? How are you going to do that? You need to go find another job. Instantly, I'm like, look, this is a great job. This is internship. Even though it's internship, they still pay me great. They don't pay me, yada, yada, yada. He's still not feeling it. He's not feeling it. Now,
What was reason? You took a job that's not going to pay you. He was right. I'm waiting to hear something wrong. So far, all right, let me let her finish.
mind you, my baby daddy is a failed music producer, okay? So his dreams have never happened. He's been making music his whole life and never got nowhere and had to get a regular job. which is nothing wrong with a regular job, but for
You got a
him,
regular
that was
job
like
though.
detrimental to his life. Like his music just never took off. Keep that in mind while I'm telling the story.
Most people don't.
So the night goes on, nothing happens. He comes in the room and he's like, "Did you use my toothbrush? Would I use your toothbrush? There's like 3 extra toothbrushes." "Well, I know you used my toothbrush. I know you did it. I know you did it, right?" So me, I'm a crash out queen or retired crash out queen. So what the? I crashed out on his ass. What the? Are you talking about? What's going on? I didn't know that that was a plot for him and me to start fighting. So the night goes on and we're still fighting about this toothbrush all night. So I'm like, you know what, let me go to bed. I got this internship in the morning because they let me
Oh
start the
wow.
day after I applied. So let me go, I gotta go. Do you believe this man fought with me all night? Even got physical to the point where the police had to come to the house. So by the time the police come, it's about 6:30 in the morning. My internship starts at 8:30. Okay, so I have an hour bus ride. He was supposed to watch our son at the time, and he did not. He said he wasn't going to do it. Anyway, the police got him. He ended up going to jail. I had to call the internship and tell them, "I cannot make it. This is my situation. Do you know that I did not get that internship?" So he gets out of jail. At this point, I'm like, I'm going to leave. I'm not going to stay here no more. I'm going to take my son. I'm going to pack up. This man comes back to the house and
She just met the man. This is the man that you chose.
Because for a lot of people, it's ego related. How would you feel? I don't know if she does, but I'm just saying, how would you feel if she did?
I want to say something funny, but honestly, I don't know how much of my ends was. I know. So a lot of people find it surprising when they find out my wife has a proper job and she's on a managerial level. She makes decisions. She's one of those people that say, "Oh no, let's circle back, let's do this," and all the rest of them. My wife's mom is a judge. So their dad was a minister in the Old Eastern region. So she comes from a lineage of people who have been successful, who have done great things, who have been way successful in their life. But as a man, as a Nigerian man, right, I've told my wife the reason why it would be difficult for me to move overseas is like if we do move overseas now, she will have the quicker job to earn a lot more than me, right? If I find my foot. And I don't know how I would take it.
So it would be hard for you.
Sincerely.
Right from a very early age, men are taught that your value is what you provide. Your power is what you earn. Your self-worth is what you can afford. This message isn't often taught directly. Boys absorb these messages through the media, family dynamics, religion, capitalism, and gender socialization. So for men, over time,
Now, you heard what she said through religion. That's when she lost me. And so, guys already know I'm going to say it. I had to investigate, right? So I investigated, and this is what I found. Because once they say religion, I go, there's a little bit of a Satan worship comes in. One of those isms. What is that ism? Patriarchy. When you see something start with patriarchy, this is a supposed doctor. Patriarchy. And what is that? Feminism. And it's worldwide, right? Didn't just teach men to chase money. It taught men to believe their lives are only valuable if they can afford to exist. Mentality Wapuka, masculinity, patriarchy, African men. As I talked about, it's worldwide. It's heavy in Africa. It's even heavy. It's heavy everywhere, right? It's just hidden, but it's there. And it's true. No matter where you go in this world, you're going to find it. You're going to find females that think like that. You'll find females that watch Sprinkle Sprinkle. I need to do a video about that on my other channel, the Black Filipino TV, because Sprinkle Sprinkle has made it across the world, right? And I showed that in one of my recent videos I did on the Black Filipino TV, but it has. And feminism You can't stop it. It's a cancer. And females are affected by it. It moves them. So, but this is where we are, guys. That's why men need to understand certain things. That's why men need this kind of information. Men need these kinds of videos because they help. But yeah, guys, thank you for watching. Be sure to subscribe. And with that being said, peace out. See you next video.